What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're ready for another arena commentary video. In this video we're playing Rogue Mage Priest, and I'm playing Subtlety. Hope you guys enjoy. So our first match is against Mage, Warlock, Paladin. Our plan here is to train the Mage and crowd control the Paladin as much as possible. We open with good cross CC on the enemy team, sap on the Warlock, deep into Lockjaw Fear on the Paladin, and continue to build pressure on the Mage. We do our best to stop all the Ring of Frosts and Polymorphs on Cheesecake while he is deep frozen. The Paladin trinkets the Polymorph, pops wings, and uses his NS to top the Mage off. He also throws a sack on the Mage to break any follow-up CC. But we're not too worried about it right now. We're just kind of waiting for our next chance to set up, which through the power of cinema magic happens relatively quickly. Our Mage lands a deep freeze into Polymorph, while their Mage happened to deep freeze our Priest. He was trying to set up on them, but I was shadow dancing, so I garroted his cast, and we force an ice block while the Paladin sits Fear. Takes a little bit, but Cheesecake had to focus on picking me up before we MD the ice block. We're generating some pretty good pressure on the Mage here, but the Paladin throws a sack out, and I sneak over, land a shadow step kick, throw an eviscerate into the Mage. He blink blazing speeds away. I micro blind him. The Paladin bubbles, but a rupture bleed manages to score the kill. Next up is Holy Pally God Comp. And our aim here is to make the Priest hate his life by training him into the ground. Yep, pretty solid strategy. So the game starts out with the Paladin getting in combat, so I'm unable to sap him, but our Mage manages to get a deep poly on him, and the enemy Priest disperses in the opener. I kick a Polymorph here, and the Mage gets feared, who he trinkets to Fear. I grow out the Mage, and he gets full polyed. We're back on the Priest with full damage, knowing that he has nothing left but whatever the Paladin's got for him. Now, if we manage to land a bomb on him, this Priest is pretty much fucked. So we blind the Paladin full. Right after that Cone of Cold lands, the Mage gets a Ring of Frost out of my blind. The Paladin trinkets it, and I throw a smoke bomb down on the Priest, knowing that, this Priest's got no disperse. Cheesecake gets a half Fear into a half Ring of Frost there, and that pretty much seals the deal for this match. The Priest goes down. This next matchup is versus a Holy Pally yet again, Warrior and a Mage. We land a sap on the Paladin and start opening hard on this Warrior, who trinkets the last second of the cheap shot, rallying cries, and rage regens, and dies by the sword. So we continue chasing the Warrior. I get a garrote out of the deep freeze, and I garrote the Mage to stop, CC on my Mage and on myself. But the Mage manages to get it off and hits me with a half freeze. I accidentally break my Mage's Polymorph, but he repolys, and we're going on the Warrior again. Basically at this point, the Warrior is a sitting duck. We're just waiting to line up a good setup on him where we have CC on the Paladin and a full stun on the Warrior. I blinded the Paladin, but my Mage's Frost Nova broke it, so I cheap shot the Paladin as fast as I can, and he lands a Polymorph, which is a perfect way to follow up that mistake. I kick a poly here, and our Mage is forced to block, unfortunately. But we're hanging out. We're sticking to the script. Our plan is to kill this Warrior because he has no CDs. He actually just trinketed and popped every CD in the start. So after a while, we're going to put him in a situation where he's sitting a full stun, and his teammate's sitting a full CC, like a Fear or a Polymorph. Which happens here. We get a full Fear on the Paladin, into a deep freeze Polymorph, and we start shitting as much damage as we can into the Warrior, who leaps away. I try to sap the Paladin because I know he's out of combat, but the Warrior had intervened. Our Mage lands a Polymorph anyway. I then garrote, but it's super DR'd. I didn't notice that our Priest had landed a silence in that combo. But lucky for us, the Warrior falls. Our next game is against Holy Pally God Comp. Are you surprised that every team this season has had a Holy Paladin? Because I'm not. I vanish and try and land a sap on the Pally, but he gets himself in combat, so I just cheap shot really quick. And the Priest knocks me to stealth, so that was a really bad waste of a vanish, to be honest, but it landed a Ring of Frost, so it wasn't too bad in the end. I land a full stun on the Priest and sap the Pally out of the Ring of Frost. We continue to dump on the Priest. I bomb on him because the Pally trinketed, and Cheesecake actually hit him with a big Fear, so my bomb was kind of wasted. I should have held on to that bomb. But we do get dispersion from the Priest. I continue the CC chain with a half blind on the Pally, hoping to score the kill on the Priest right here. I was really hoping that 4 seconds would have been enough. I Shadow Step kicked the Paladin, but he had Aura Mastery up. I think he also got my Mage's Counterspell as well, so that was a big blunder for us. It's going to put us behind a little bit and force us to play catch up again, because the Priest is full, and the Paladin is just spamming heals into his teammate. So we land a half Polymorph on the Paladin, but I'm feeling kind of scared, so I defensively shadow stepped back to my teammate because I did use Cloak of Shadows, so at any point I could be put into a Hodge Horrify and just completely aced if they have cross CC on my team. But they Hodged a little bit early, which Cheesecake then dispelled, and then he got polymorphed, so they kind of screwed up their setup on us. Now it's our turn to hopefully not screw up our setup on them. We get a Deep Freeze into a Fear, which the Paladin bubbles instantaneously. We're just spamming baby damage into this Priest, but it's not going to be enough while the Paladin has his bubble up. I Shadow Step kick the Paladin and keep going on the Priest. He gets polymorphed full now. This looks like it could be the game, unless this Priest manages to land an MD, but it doesn't look like he has that much juice left in him. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you're one of the people that really hated the Ashran video, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.